Hello, welcome to the Let's Talk Kids Health Facebook Live Show, episode 51. I'm Dr. Narissa Bauer, your host. I'm a behavioral pediatrician and CEO of Let's Talk Kids Health. As you know, the concept of the show is to share information about behavioral health, parenting, and family wellness. Each week, I plan to bring you topics and guests to help me advance this mission so that we can all talk together. Now, let us know that you're here by commenting, asking questions, and liking this post at any time. And in a little bit, you can ask questions of my guest as well. The replay will be immediately available after the broadcast. Now, please share this episode with anyone you think who would benefit. Sharing is caring, by the way. Now, if you don't want to miss future episodes or maybe check out my past ones, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Narissa Bauer MD, and follow my blog Facebook page, Let's Talk Kids Health, and join my free parenting discussion group. Okay, now on to this week's guest. Emily Bruce is the CEO and founder of Determinism LLC, the developer of the platform PeerKnect. She is a board certified and licensed behavior analyst in the state of Tennessee with a master's of science in psychology. Prior to committing to PeerConnect as a CEO full time, she owned and operated a small applied behavior analysis practice in Nashville, where she applied her therapeutic skills and scientific knowledge of behavior to work with children and families of children with special needs. I am so excited to have you here today, Emily. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Dr. Bauer. I'm excited to be here today.
Yeah, and you know what? When you first let me know who you were and what your mission was, I was really excited to learn more about what the work you're doing. I think it's really important. And right before we went on live, we were talking about the importance of this work. So, without further ado, I'd like to sort of just start off with you telling us a little bit more about what Peer Connect is, and then we'll go into that.
Okay, so I always tell people PeerConnect is just, it's a mobile and web-based platform. We build friendships and social connections for children with special needs and for children without special needs by bridging the gap between parents, caretakers, and therapists. So it's basically a smartphone application for parents that they can use to get connected with other parents within their community. They can also learn about sensory-friendly events or inclusive events within their community, caretaker training events. But it's just that, let's find play dates that are near me. Let's find children that can play with my child, and let's get connected so we can promote play and social outings.
So what exactly drove you to like what was your inspiration for developing this?
Well, as a behavior analyst, working with kiddos with special needs, I began to be my client's best friend. Basically, I'm a mom. I have two teenagers. My daughter's almost 20. She's in college, and my son is in high school. But so I have great play skills. But I wanted my clients to have friends, right?
Mhm.
So I would go into my sessions. We'd work on play skills. We'd work on verbal communication and social skills. But that was it. That was all that they were getting. So when I was gone, their friend was gone. I would have parents who would make requests like, hey, do you think you could reach out to a colleague and maybe we could get some type of play date scheduled? And I would try, but it was basically impossible to get any connections made for my clients. So again, I was the one who was their best friend. And, just parents making those requests of me seeing that there was a need that was not being met for these families.
Mhm.
And it just, because it kept repeating itself, I was like, you know what? Something should exist out there to get parents connected with each other, something that is safe, something that's easy to use, something that's convenient, and nothing existed. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something about this. So my business partner, who just finished his PhD in software engineering, he's a good friend of mine. I reached out to him a few years ago and I said, hey, I have an idea for an application and I would love it if you could possibly code this for me. And, we could start a business. And we thought it would be a really simple process, but it ended up taking 3 years because we wanted to perfect it. But that's basically how the idea came about. It's just, I saw this continuous request, get me connected, get my child connected. And I just wanted to help these families out.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, you found a need and there was a gap. There was nothing there in that space and you sought to fill it. I mean, I think it's especially important given the times that we're in with the pandemic and the need for social distancing, the fact that we went to remote schooling when this all started, and kids, we saw the effects on their mental health. It's really
Mhm.
important for kids to be able to be around other kids, regardless of pandemic or not. So I hats off to you for sort of seeing this. And what I love about it is that it sort of just facilitates that. I mean, is it available both on Apple and Android, or how, you said it's web based, right?
So the web base is for our business accounts. So yes,
Okay.
so a parent would just go to either the Google Store or the
Uh-huh.
Apple Store, and then they
Uh-huh.
would download it. So we have a free account. We also have a Premier account. The free account allows them to gain access to any like sensory friendly events in their area, um, any festivals, anything that's really inclusive for families. Sometimes therapy practices host caretaker training events. So those will be listed there for the businesses that sign up. So if a business signs up, like the local zoo or a museum or like a sensory gym, they would sign up through the website, through our web platform, and then they would post their events there. But for parents who want to post the play dates or search for play dates, and that's in person and virtual. So when the
Hmm.
pandemic hit, we had to add virtual play dates, right? So that's why it took a little bit longer. We had to code extra stuff in there. And it's also a place for parents if they want to post like a birthday party and say, I'd love to have 4 children attend this party or 10 children attend this
Hmm.
party or a holiday party. Um, and it works the same way as a play date. So they can either accept or not accept somebody's request to join their event or their play date. We also included ID verification. I'm a mom and I'm also a therapist.
Yes.
And I wanted to protect all of my users. So we use, it's called eDNA technology. The platform that we embedded into PeerKnect is the Accurate platform. Accurate Go used to be Identity Mine. So if you have ever deposited a check with your phone or had to go through some type of ID verification on your phone, it's the same kind of technology. And so they verify our users to make sure they're not on watch lists or they don't have multiple aliases. They don't have fake IP addresses. Just all types of information is checked in real time.
Hmm.
They're verified, and then a parent can go ahead, post their play date or search for play dates, and know that the person on the other end has been verified as well.
Yeah, I mean, I that would be a huge concern for lots of parents who are thinking about this. So I'm glad you guys worked through the extra measures to do that. I'm sure it wasn't an easy process, but
Mm-mm.
so critical.
No, I mean, and then I think that's why when I first approached my business partner, Aram, I was like, hey, this will take like a month, right? It took 3 years because we kept adding. So, we added the business hosted events. We wanted to promote engagement in the community and community inclusion. So we were like, let's provide a place for these businesses to post their events so families will know what's going on within 40 miles of their geolocation. What events can we attend this weekend or this month and look forward to? It was originally just play dates for parent to parent or parent to therapist or therapist to therapist.
Mhm.
And I say therapist because as a behavior analyst, with my clients, we would go out in the community. I also did support in the schools and in the home. I know not all therapy works that way, but with ABA, we want to generalize the skills that we're learning in the therapeutic environment.
Mhm.
So we have to go into different environments to help generalize those skills. So we actually are able to go out in the community. We just don't announce it like I'm this person's therapist. We're their friend, we're their caretaker, right? And so we wanted to make it available to therapists as well. So a parent might get connected with a therapist, but they don't know they're connecting with a therapist. It's just
Hmm.
two people connecting for a play date.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I think I just went all the way around the world with that answer. But um, we just wanted to make sure we tried to think of everything. So that's why we had the ID verification. We made it accessible to therapists and parents, and added the virtual play dates, in-person play dates, and then non-business hosted events, which would be like the birthday parties and holiday parties and things like that.
Yeah, I love that. And, I'm so glad that you brought up that, it's not just for parents, it could therapists, ABA
Mhm.
therapists could use this. I mean, I could see the practicality of this because like you said, as the ABA therapist, you also need to bring them out and set up these play dates, so to speak, so you can help generalize those skills. So I mean, that also serves a really important function for therapists to be able to get on here.
Absolutely. And so for me, like I said, I was always my client's best friend, whether they
Yeah.
were 4, 5, 10,
Mhm.
15. Um, and I never had the opportunity. Well, I did one time. I had an opportunity for that peer-to-peer interaction, and it really helped my client just blossom in so many ways.
Mm.
Um, but most of the time, we don't have those opportunities for that peer-to-peer engagement, and so the client knows that I'm the therapist, that I'm not their friend. So there's a different, we call it stimulus control, right? Or instructional control. So they know that they will engage with me in a different way than they would engage with a friend or
Mhm.
even their sibling or even their parent. And so it's so important to have those peer-to-peer interactions so that they can actually learn how to engage with a peer their own age or, close to their own age, and just learn those play skills and learn how to communicate and play and collaborate and cooperate and problem solve and all of those wonderful things that we learn
Mhm.
through play.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, that sort of leads us into the next question. I mean, why do you think it's important for children? Especially with, I guess if you could speak to the type of clients that you serve, but then also just in general.
Yeah, so play is so important for so many reasons, right? So we're promoting physical activity. We know children need physical activity, but so do grown-ups.
Mhm.
We all need that physical activity, but we're promoting that play, right? We learn through play. So we're learning how to, like I said, we're learning how to collaborate. We're learning how to problem solve. We're learning how to um, share. We're picking up on social cues. It's also wonderful for that social and emotional learning component that we want to promote. So self-regulation, um, expressing ourselves. We learn how to express ourselves when we're having that interaction with somebody, and we're learning how to respond to people. So it's that expressive and receptive communication. We also can learn empathy, and like I said, those social cues. So it's just really, those are there's so many important reasons for play, but for me, I think that as a therapist, those are the ones that I really focus on.
Yeah, and I mean, so as a behavioral pediatrician, uh, I think it's so important, and why I was so excited to have you on is that it's so important to connect families to therapists and to therapy, but often see the struggle with that generalization piece,
Mhm.
and oftentimes parents are not sure, like, how do I even begin to reach out? I mean, they might tap out their own network, but then if that child has particularly challenging behaviors, it might be a little bit more challenging and they feel badly, for imposing on maybe the same one or two, family friends. But I think that, PeerConnect is such a nice platform with which to, it sort of expands the availability. And presumably, again, like if other people are on there, they're seeking the same connections.
Absolutely. Yeah. And for kiddos with developmental delays,
Hmm.
we do sometimes need to contrive the environment to help them learn those skills.
Yes.
But if they never have the opportunity to engage in those environments or with those peers, they're not going to develop those skills. And as I mentioned, as a therapist, my client knows this is Miss Emily, and she has a different type of, you know, the stimulus of Emily means something different than what it would with a friend. With friends, we can go run around, we can play, we can share toys. Um, so it's going to look different too. But yeah, exactly. They have to have those opportunities in order to learn that skill, or enhance their skills or learn that new behavior. And so that's why we kind of we wanted to make it PeerConnect all encompassing. So it's not just that peer-to-peer interaction for a play date or a social outing. We definitely wanted them to be able to go to sensory friendly movies or the museum or the zoo, because each one of those environments has a cue that signals this is how you behave here, or a birthday party. This is what it's like to go to a birthday party, right? So we wanted to include that because I'm sure that you've seen, on Facebook or on the news, or different people post things like, I had a birthday party for my child and nobody showed up because they're on the autism spectrum, or my child wasn't invited to this party because they engage in interfering behaviors. But if we can provide opportunities for them to have those events, then they will get invited. That's what we're hoping for. This
Yeah.
is what it's like to go to a birthday party. You bring a present, we eat cake, we play games, we take turns, whatever it is. And then as they have those opportunities, then they know, okay, I'm going to go to one independently and I know how to engage and behave in this environment. So that's why we wanted the non-business hosted events, the business hosted events, and the social connections. So it's just all encompassing for everything that a child might need for developing, the social skills or enhancing those skills and the play skills.
And Emily, I'm sorry if you mentioned this earlier. When was this developed then?
So we started 3 years ago.
Uh-huh.
We did a beta launch this past spring, which I
Uh-huh.
can't believe it's 2022. So, and then we gained feedback from users. So we did a lot of technology update, and then we relaunched basically in October. And we're kind of doing a limited launch because we have to build a network.
Yes.
So we're in Nashville. So of course we're, in Nashville, we have the majority of our network is here. But we are expanding in Southern California, in Texas, in Alabama. But we have ABA therapy practices that we've connected with in other areas, like in Miami and New York, in Arizona, South Carolina. They're all wanting to sign up so that they can start helping us build their networks there. So we 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 kind of have hubs, like either an organization that will
Mhm.
partner with us or an ABA therapy practice, and then we start to grow our network from there.
Okay. Yeah, that was my question, because if a family, like, sees this episode, and by the way, I'm gonna actually put the website up, but if somebody sees this episode, it's like, "Oh my gosh, I have to sign up," and then, like, if like, in Indiana, for instance, nobody else has signed up, and like, "Oh, no." So so this is helpful. So you're trying to really be intentional, start with a hub to
Mm-hmm.
then help grow that community.
But yeah, a parent or even a therapist, an organization, they
Mhm.
can reach out to us if they want to start building their community in their
Uh-huh.
area. We're definitely open because it's live across the United States, so we can help anybody build the network in their community. Right now, parents for the Premier account can have 2 months a free 2 month subscription. Excuse me. And that allows them access to in-person and virtual play dates, the non-business hosted events like a holiday party or a birthday party, and then access to the business hosted events. If they just want a free account where they don't have access to all the premier features, they can download the app for free, and that gives them access to any inclusive events in their area. So, music
Okay.
events, festivals, whatever, sensory friendly movies. And so parents can go ahead and download it now, and then they can upgrade at any time to the Premier account once their network starts to grow, or they can reach out to us and we can help them grow their network in their area.
Yeah, I am so excited thinking about this because, again, like I said, I think there is a huge need for this, and to be able to do this in a very systematic but safe manner, that's accessible. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see, like, your growth this year. So,
Thank you.
yeah, I mean, it's going to be great. Um, and I think, just again, I just want to reiterate too. I think it's especially important, for parents to know that there are these types of resources out there, and you know, by having you come on the show to kind of explain to us the need, how you developed it, and the different ins and outs of how it works is great. Now, what if a family is not very tech savvy and they're worried? They're like, okay, this sounds really awesome, but I get really turned around when it comes to these types of things. Is there a family friendly way to onboard them to this platform?
Yeah, we actually have been talking about doing our own Facebook Live trainings so
Uh-huh.
that we can invite families, like once a week. We're doing our training once a week so we can answer questions, we can give demos. We do have explainer videos on our website. So
Okay.
they're about 1 minute long, and they each go through like this is how you go through ID verification. This is how you post a play date. This is how you create a child profile. And, so if a parent wants to watch those, they can see how to use the application. And there are not instructions, it's not really onboarding, but it does kind of guide you through a step-by-step process. You have to do this first, and then next, and then next. So, but we always love feedback from people. If they say, look, this was too confusing, or I didn't understand this feature. We are constantly updating our technology every single week, because we want to make it easy to use, friendly, parent friendly. We really want families to use this and engage and just help their kiddos get connected. And, the pandemic showed most everybody like how awful it is to be isolated, right? But I know families who've been isolated for many, many years. And so for me, every family that I worked with, I was like, hey, we're going out to get some food. We're going to the library. We're going Christmas shopping. Because life, I want people to thrive. I want their quality of life to be improved. I want their kiddos' skills to be enhanced, and just promote happiness and joy. So, for me, that's what Peerconnect is about, is just really getting those families who feel like they're isolated and alone. They're not alone.
Yeah.
Promise.
Yeah. And I think just because I know this is not kind of the focus of the talk, but since we did bring up ABA, for people who are just catching this episode for the first time, haven't seen some of my previous guests who talked about ABA in the past, do you mind just kind of explaining what that acronym is, what that means?
Yes. So applied behavior analysis, as a behavior analyst, I will go in with a family, and typically, if I get a prescription for ABA therapy, the child might be engaging in severe interfering behaviors, so maybe aggression or self-injurious behaviors, or they have severe developmental delays, like so nonverbal, expressive and receptive delays. And so what I do is I go in there and I help understand what's going on with the behavior. So what's the function of the behavior? We know that it's either access to something, escape or avoidance, attention seeking, or automatically reinforcing. So automatically reinforcing, I like to twirl my hair because I just like to twirl my hair, right? So, and then we look at the behavior, we understand what's going on, and we help the parent find, well, we provide them with strategies to help either reduce certain behaviors or increase other behaviors. So a lot of times we'll work on verbal behavior deficits. So that's communication, that's teaching the child to be expressive. If they are nonverbal, we can help them with picture exchange, or augmentative devices to help them communicate. But really, we're just trying to help the child get their needs and wants met through functional communication, and reduce behaviors so that the parent and the child and the whole family, can improve their quality of life. I don't know if that was a great explanation, but that's what we do.
Yeah.
So that's what we do as behavior analysts.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I'm just kind of thinking kind of out loud here, especially it's for kids who require ABA, like for instance, kids on the autism spectrum. I would it's so important, and the research bears out that it's important that these kids get exposure to neurotypical kids as well. And so again, that's why again, this idea that you have with PeerConnect, it's so great. Now, on the children's profile, are you able to specify any of that, or is that like, do you have that just happen organically when parents are already meeting, to
Yeah,
say that or set that up?
that's a wonderful question. So we always say that PeerConnect is for children with, or for parents of children with or without special needs, because we want to definitely, it was created for the special needs community, but we want to be inclusive. We want to we want to model inclusivity, right? We want to show people what it's like to be inclusive. So we just invite everybody into our community. When you're creating a child profile, we don't recommend putting like a first and last name there, because even my name as a subscriber, it would be Emily B. Caretaker or Emily B. Parent. That's what you would see if you looked at my profile. And so we recommend using initials or other identifiers or a nickname for the child. And then you would put the diagnosis, if there is a diagnosis, the gender, and then the birth date, but then that's populated as the age. So for the child profile, you would see, like for my son, you would see initials CN, 16, no diagnosis, male. And then there would be a little avatar because we're not going to put any identifying information on there.
Right.
And then there's also a little box that allows a parent or a therapist to put skills deficits, likes and dislikes, so that you can see this child has expressive and receptive delays. They don't like loud noises. They love trains. They love animals. We love to play outside. Whatever it is that you want to include in their child profile, you create that child profile. So if I am a parent and somebody requests to join my play date, I can look at that child profile, and I can also look at the other subscriber, and I can see, okay, this is, it would say Narissa B, parent, and then I look at the child profile, and it would say, male with an autism diagnosis, 8 years old, skills deficits, likes and dislikes. And so that would be the information. I'd be like, okay, is this a compatible a child for my child to play with? And I can either accept or not accept the play date as you requested.
Got it.
So yes, we also included Google Assist because we want people to, it's that extra safety layer. So not only do we have the ID verification, we're not providing a lot of identifying information. So you can feel like you're protected, like everything's protected. But also Google Assist will suggest all of the locations in your area that would be suitable for a play date. So a park or a library or a play center.
Yeah.
And then once you select the place that you want to have the play date, it automatically populates. And then you can have a safe location in your community where you can meet this other person. And you can also chat with them once the play date has been accepted by both parties.
Yep.
There's a chat feature. So, you can say, hey, we're working on sharing, or we're working on taking turns, we're working on this. So yeah, like I said, we tried to think of everything, but we love feedback from people because we want to make this just a wonderful experience for parents and their children. And we just really want to promote those social connections and play.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm really excited. I can't wait to sort of connect you with some organizations here in Indiana so that we can get a hub here too. I'm thinking of several people and several organizations right now. So offline, we'll talk about that.
Awesome.
But thank you so much for this work that you're doing. I mean, it clearly takes a passion to do something from nothing. And as you know, it didn't take just a month. It took 3 years of your life, right? And you're still working on this, I know, for full time now. So, I wish you all the best in your journey, and I can't wait to see like what 2022 brings for you and your company.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Of course. Well, so there you have it. Please look at the website below, which is scrolling on past. If you have any other comments or questions, I'm sure Emily will entertain questions. You can reach her there through that website. And then just to let you know, just a reminder, obviously, if you're watching this live, you know that where you're at the right place. But because 2022, I decided to change things up a little bit. Rather than being simulcast to my blog Facebook page, it's now within the parenting discussion group. So make sure you tell your friends to join, and it's free. And that's where they can catch it. Otherwise, they can catch episodes on my YouTube channel. Now, it's Mondays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And then also, I just want to explain that my next week's guest is Dr. Neelong V.S. She's a sleep consultant physician, and she'll be talking about the importance of sleep and working with a sleep consultant. Who doesn't want to get more sleep? So important. And just another reminder, too. Today is the last day to register for my Teach Me ADHD course that starts this weekend. I am busy packing boxes. I'm going to be actually shipping them out today. If you have any questions or concerns, just message me, but you can always go to my website, go to virtual courses, select Teach Me ADHD, and I hope to welcome you in the agency. Otherwise, if this weekend doesn't work out, I always offer it in March again, and then also in September. So if you have any other, sort of like topics or guests that you want to see on this show, please message me or email me at Dr. Narissa at Let's Talk Kids Health and follow me on my social media platforms because I'm everywhere. And just reach out to me. I always love to talk and chat. One more thing. It is January, so I just started my new parenting book club. It's Under Pressure by Dr. Lisa Damore. She's a child psychologist, New York Times bestselling author. She wrote Untangled as well. And she will be coming and doing a Facebook Live book author uh, chat with us at the end of January. So read along. It's not too late to get started. All right, I think that's all my announcements, housekeeping. But it's been so great chatting with you today, Emily. Thank you so much for the work you do. And I look forward to chatting with you all next week. Thank you.
Thank you.